We're definitely going to be looking at our product roadmap today. So to properly set our expectations on that front, we need to review Salesforce's forward-looking statement slide. If you're unfamiliar with this slide, it urges Salesforce customers that any purchasing decisions that they make on Salesforce should be based only on currently available functionality.
I'm Shelley Ersig, and I'm the product manager for process automation at Salesforce. And I've got some exciting process builder features to talk with you about in just a few minutes. So the first thing we did, it's a small change, but when you go to clone a process, it's a bit irritating. You have to recopy the name and the description from your former process, and doesn't it just make sense to just auto-populate that? So we were able to get that in, and that's just one little way that we're helping you to go a bit faster. The next one was a little trickier. So we've got limited landscape to show field names in criteria and in actions. So we came up with a way to hover over those field names so that you can see the full field name. And I'll show you this in the app in just a moment. The last one is the big bang. I know that many of you and myself, when I'm building a process, I think, I need that criteria to be second or third or fifth, and I have no way to move it. Well, now you do. You can drag and drop your criteria with just a click and a drag. And so let's flip over to a demo, and I want to show you how that works. So you can see here that I've hovered over the first criteria, and it's drawn a sort of a blue rectangle around the criteria and the associated actions. And if I just select it and move it, and wait a moment because we're on a pre-release org.
And because this is live.
And because it's live, so it always takes longer. Bam. Okay, great. It's simple as that. I can reorder any and all of the criteria. So we know that this will really help make process building a lot faster, and we're super excited about it. I want to give you a quick peek into the field hovering. So in this opportunity, it's set at close loss. So right now, you can't see you can just see the word opportunity. And for fields where there are things like namespaces, it gets even trickier. So we came up with this hover ability so that you can go in and see what you did. You might have made a process 3 weeks ago, and you can't quite remember what's in there. We don't want you to have to open everything up in order to see what you made. So we're able to do that. And I think these features are really going to help people go a lot faster. All right, so the road ahead, and this is sort of the short-term road ahead. There is more logic we want to embed into Process Builder, and I think the most critical next piece is something that we like to call more than one true. So right now, in a process, it reads the first criteria, and it evaluates whether or not it's true. If it's true, it fires those actions. If it's false, it goes to the next criteria. Well, wouldn't it be super powerful if it could evaluate the entire process, fire actions associated with everything that's true? We know that will let our users make fewer processes because they'll then be able to combine processes and also cover more use cases, more territory. So we're going to be working on that right now. So stay tuned to hear about when we'll be able to release that, but it's going to be a super powerful feature. The next sort of expanded logic piece we'll work on is something called process triggering process. So right now you can use a process to trigger a flow. If you could trigger another process, you could sort of then dictate which order these processes were firing, which I think would help people a lot because right now there's not a great way on the platform to put things in order in terms of how they fire. And I know many people across the platform are working on that in broader initiatives. But this is one way I think that we can help with that effort. So the second area, a little bit different. There's a need I know that you have to basically be able to manage all your processes. You've got, I'm sure, workflow rules, approvals, you've got processes, you've got flows. We need to create a process home where you can see all of that, get a view of the status of where those processes are, which ones have been run, which ones have never been run, what objects they're sort of residing on, and things like an object view that would say, hey, on account, I've got 3 Apex triggers, a process, a flow, and 5 workflow rules. So giving you that kind of view and also improving the type of troubleshooting and debugging tools that we provide. So we've got an ambitious plan and lots of fun stuff to continue working on. I want to speak just for a moment to folks who maybe tried Process Builder out when it first came out, didn't have as much functionality, or have never tried Process Builder, we have terrific resources for you to get started. The first one is really obvious. Go to Trailhead. You'll learn all about Salesforce, and there's a great process automation trail. It'll help you determine for your use case which tool is most appropriate for you to start with, and then it'll walk you through the use of each of those tools. So it's a wonderful place to start. And then I can't plug enough the success community. Especially, my favorite, of course, is the Salesforce Workflow Automation community. They are incredibly generous with sharing their experience and their solutions. So if you're trying to build something, you can bet that someone has probably already tried to cover that use case. Jump on that community, share a question, or scroll through. People are very generous with sharing their answers. And then as you figure things out, please post your answer there. It's also a great way to keep giving us feedback about what's working with Process Builder and what you'd like to see, in terms of the direction of development of the tool that would be impactful for your use case.
If I create a new record as an action in a process, can I use the ID of that new record in the next action?
You cannot right now, but this is something we really want to do. It's the idea that you're creating a record as part of your process, and you want to take that thing you just created, for example, it could be an approval or something, and hand it off to the next set of actions. So we know that we can enable this. This is something the Flow engine can do, and Process Builder is built on the Flow engine. The challenge for us is to figure out how do we keep that very simple, so that it doesn't become a sort of an overwhelming process. But that's very high on our list in the things that we want to enable. So I would say it's definitely on our roadmap, not the nearest term, but maybe midterm.
Okay, alrighty. And is there an idea out there for that they should go vote on? If not, we should get one out there.
I imagine there must be, but I don't know offhand.
I'll go take a look and see if I can find it. Yeah. All right. Is there a limit on the number of criteria I can put into a single process?
You can do 50, but we don't recommend it. So we recommend that you break up your process before you get more than 20. It just will become unmanageable. So you can go crazy if that's really what you want to do. It's probably going to be a bit slow to load up on the screen, and it may be hard to manage. So we think there's enough. We're not really hearing otherwise.